Lewis Hamilton has recently voiced his concerns about how his team managed the race tactics during the last event in Singapore. The seven-time world champion isn't holding back his criticism, especially as the team's decisions continue to impact his race outcomes negatively. What seemed like a questionable strategy has now proven to be just that, as Mercedes' gamble in the race didn't pay off. Hamilton ended up losing 3 spots from where he began, with the most frustrating one being to his own teammate, Russell. Given how things unfolded, Hamilton is understandably displeased with his team's handling of the race, which might lead to repercussions for the rest of the season. A key question now is whether he will have more influence over strategy decisions in future races. One of the most puzzling choices made by Mercedes in Singapore was starting Hamilton on soft tires. The Brackley-based team believed this was the best option for the 7-time champion. However, Hamilton was the only driver in the top 15 to make this choice. This decision didn't bode well, especially on a track where overtaking is already a challenge unless you have a clear advantage in tire grip or speed. To make matters worse, Hamilton eventually had to finish the race in P9 after starting from the pit lane due to a last-minute engine change in Baku. Understandably, he wasn't happy with how things turned out in Singapore. The entire race was chaotic for him from start to finish, as he was unable to execute his plan of making up positions using the soft tires. The situation worsened as there wasn't an early safety car period that Hamilton could have used to reduce his pit lane time. Mercedes called him into the pit lane on the 17th lap, a move that he felt was far too early. His frustration was evident as he expressed his disagreement to his engineer, Bono, after coming out of the pits on a fresh set of hard tires. From that point on, the race became more about damage control for Hamilton. He had to ensure he preserved his tires enough to make it to the end without another pit stop. In the end, Hamilton finished in P6, primarily because he couldn't gain the positions he hoped for during the opening laps on the soft tires. This failure to capitalize early on led him to gradually fall behind, creating more than enough reason for him to be upset over the radio. Mercedes technical director, James Allison, later addressed this incident, acknowledging the team's mistake in their strategic choices. "If we could turn back time, we would have chosen the medium tires like those around us," he admitted. The initial thinking behind starting on softs was that it often allows a driver to get a quick launch off the line, offering a chance to gain a position or two in the early laps. Unfortunately, they didn't anticipate the issues they encountered with the soft rubber. During the race, the team briefly considered switching Hamilton to a 2-stop strategy, but calculations showed he wouldn't make up the time lost during the extra pit stop. Allison also admitted that when Hamilton didn't secure positions in the first few laps, other drivers began gaining pace around the 5th lap. Naturally, the softer tires tend to wear out faster, especially on a demanding track like Singapore. To make things worse, Hamilton was already unhappy with the car's overall handling even before the tire strategy started to backfire. The technical director of Mercedes openly admitted that their tactical decision had essentially ruined Hamilton's race. This situation has sparked renewed debate over a potential conspiracy within Mercedes, with some fans suspecting the team of deliberately sabotaging Hamilton to give Russell an advantage. Hamilton himself has dismissed these claims, but rumors persist. The F1 community might need to see some transparency in team communications to truly shift the narrative around the dynamics at Mercedes. It is certainly surprising to see a team of Mercedes' caliber suffer from such strategic blunders, especially given their dominant performance over the last 8 years. For a team that has consistently made winning decisions, struggling now to make simple tactical choices raises serious questions. Despite these frustrations, Hamilton's departure from Mercedes marks the end of an era. An era that began back in 2013. You'd expect Hamilton to be deeply frustrated after what happened in Singapore, and while some of his public statements seemed carefully crafted by Mercedes' Puerto Rico team, the 7-time world champion has now openly voiced his anger over the race strategy. Although he likely had some input into the race plan, Hamilton might have opposed the soft hard tire strategy, especially since no other top drivers were using it to gain positions. Despite his reservations, Mercedes still chose to gamble with this alternative approach. Reflecting on the strategy and his reaction, Hamilton said, "I know there has been a lot of discussion around the strategy in Singapore, which simply didn't work out. It's natural to be frustrated when that happens. And it's easy to speak out in that frustration. We knew starting on soft tires was a bold move that could have given us an early edge, and I eventually agreed with that suggestion. However, They misjudged what other teams might do, leading to a disappointing outcome. To understand Hamilton's frustration, we need to look back at previous races like Canada and Baku, where his silence during the post-race radio debrief was quite telling. On both occasions, Bono and Toto Wolff had to apologize for how things unfolded. It's becoming increasingly clear that Hamilton's trust in the team has been shaken, but despite the setbacks, he still holds more wins than his teammate. Interestingly, even though Russell has outqualified Hamilton 13 times to 5, Hamilton has more points and sits higher in the Drivers' Championship. This demonstrates the kind of driver Hamilton is consistently pushing through problems, many of which are rooted in the team's strategic decisions. Despite his frustrations, Hamilton doesn't seem to harbor resentment toward Mercedes. After all, he's embarking on a new chapter of his life and career, starting in 2025, possibly with Ferrari. Addressing his situation with Mercedes for the remainder of 2024, he said, "Make no mistake, things are fine with the team. Like any successful partnership, there are highs and lows. We're not afraid to have tough conversations, which is why we've achieved so much together. We will support each other until the very end. It's all love. See you in Austin." The upcoming race in Austin will be crucial in gauging Hamilton's relationship with Mercedes, as it will reveal a lot about the team's dynamics moving forward. Whether we like it or not, Russell hasn't quite shown that he's ready to lead the team. He didn't necessarily earn this role. Instead, it was handed to him when Hamilton decided it was time for a new challenge in his career. This is hard for both Russell and Mercedes fans to accept, but it's the reality of the situation. Even Toto Wolff expressed his surprise at how suddenly the partnership with Hamilton seemed to be coming to an end. Despite this abrupt change, the team is now preparing for a new chapter, hoping to secure a few race wins before heading into 2025 with the new driver duo of Antonelli and Russell. The first real test comes in Austin, where Mercedes, like other top teams, will introduce upgrades to their car. They have been exploring the gray area regarding the front wing's flexibility, an approach similar to McLaren's. Currently sitting fourth in the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes knows that challenging any of the top 3 teams this season might be a stretch. Despite their belief that it could address some of the underlying issues with the W14's performance, in recent races, both Hamilton and Russell have expressed dissatisfaction with the car's behavior, and this frustration has clearly reflected in their results. With all these factors at play, the upcoming race in Austin will serve as a true test of whether Mercedes can still compete at the front and provide Hamilton with the proper send-off he deserves after contributing so much to the team over the years. Hamilton's performance in Austin will give insight into whether Mercedes has ironed out their strategy blunders or if more challenges lie ahead. Moreover, it will highlight whether Hamilton and the team have managed to reconcile their recent differences. For Russell, this race is equally significant. He needs to step up and prove he can fill Hamilton's shoes as a leader, a role he seems to have inherited rather than earned through consistent performance. The ongoing debate about Mercedes' strategy calls in Singapore continues to heat up among F1 fans. Was it simply a misjudgment or a sign of deeper issues within the team's decision-making process? Let's hear your thoughts on the matter. Share your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to check out the video currently on your screen for more insights. The tension within the Mercedes camp raises important questions. Can they resolve their strategic mishaps, or will these mistakes continue to haunt them for the remainder of the season? Additionally, it's worth noting that Mercedes, a team once renowned for its almost flawless race strategies, now appears to be struggling with decisions that once seemed routine. The last few races have shown a shift that has both fans and analysts alike questioning what's happening behind the scenes. Austin is where Mercedes plans to introduce their latest upgrades, alongside other top teams. They aim to regain their competitive edge and challenge the frontrunners, but whether these changes will be enough to overcome their rivals remains uncertain. As Mercedes gears up for 2025, with the promising partnership of Russell and Antonelli, they hope to end this chapter on a high note. Hamilton's legacy with Mercedes is undeniable, and giving him a fitting farewell is crucial. Will they manage to pull it off in these final races? We'll soon find out. So what do you think of Mercedes' latest strategy decisions and how they've affected Hamilton's race performance? Do you believe the team can bounce back in the upcoming races, or are we witnessing the start of a new era within the team? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more F1 insights and updates. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest discussions and news from the world of motorsports. And hey, check out the video on your screen right now. It's packed with more exciting F1 content that you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.